This is the story of my father, Kenneth Goddard, how he created his American dream and went from his own story of rags to riches in his own unique way.
Come on, guys. We got 8 o'clock mud coming. Knew it. They're gonna be late again.
Why does this always happen? Whether I call my order ahead for concrete or I wait that day. Either way, it's always late. Again and again. I have to pay my crew for standing around waiting. Well, that just eats up any profit for this job. How can I make a living for my family? I can't even get the mud to pour when I get a job. Finally, here it is. Let's get to work. I know I can make this work. If I could just get my concrete on time, when I needed it, I could make a good living for us year round.
Well, but you're at their mercy. What can you do?
I don't know. I just have to think on it.
You'll figure something out, Kenneth. I know you will. I'm going to take the baby to bed now.
That's it. We can do this. Neoma.
In 1958, my mother and father, Kenneth and Neoma Goddard, started and incorporated Goddard's Ready Mix Concrete Company, Inc. In 1958, he went to Duncan, Oklahoma, to Stokes Ready Mix, and he purchased this plant behind me that we actually still use today, located at Northeast 10th and Post Road. And he bought it for $1,800. I'm here with Arch Bell, Bell Enterprises, and I understand Mr. Stokes started his concrete business in 1952 when he purchased a plant from Carl Brown. And in 1958, he was contacted by my father, Kenneth Goddard, to purchase the same plant. And Arch, I understand you were actually there. What happened?
1958, he was really quite a man. Muscular, I mean, just physical-looking guy you could ever imagine, handsome. And he came wheeling in there, and he said, I'm a finisher in Oklahoma City, and he said, I pour 100 yards of concrete every day. He said, I want to start pouring my own concrete. And we'd built a new plant in about 1956, and the old plant was still standing there beside it. And I think he said he'd pay $1,800 for it.
$1,800 for the batch plant.
For the batch plant, but it didn't have any silo. We were still using bags of cement. We got all the materials in by rail at that time. And of course, bagged cement in by rail, rock and sand in by rail. And so it had elevators that carried that material up to the batch bins. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And anyway, and then we had a couple of trucks that we'd kind of quit using. We were going to 6-yard mixers. Had a 4-yard truck and a 3-yard truck, and I think he bought the 3-yard truck that day. I think he paid $3,000 for it. I don't remember what year it was. He had to come tear the plant down. He brought his paving crew down, and they were a bunch of hardy working guys, and it didn't take them long. They had it down and hauled it off.
So when Kenneth came and would buy it and take it down, that was
right.
A deal for everybody.
was the first time that you met Kenneth Goddard?
I was on a mixer truck out on the job. He was driving a mixer truck, and so was I. Kenneth Goddard was one that you did not work for, you worked with. Kenneth was a hard worker.
One of his best sayings that he always said was, get happy. If you're not happy, get happy.
The company is active in Midwest City and Choctaw Chambers of Commerce, the Oklahoma and National Home Builders Association, and the Oklahoma Safety Council, among other organizations. He died in August of 1997. So what about the future? Certainly there will always be construction and the need for concrete and building and paving. And Goddard Concrete Company, under its second generation of leadership, is excited about continuing to play an active and important role in our community.
Grandpa, Kenneth Goddard.
Your middle name is courage. You had no fear. Whenever someone asked you, you always made it clear you weren't gonna let this get you down. You lived every day without a frown. And even though you're not here, and even though you're gone, you will always be near. 'Cause your spirit lives on, and it's the way that you laughed, and the way that you smiled. And even though you're only here for a while, you lived every day of your life through the pain and the strife. You opened our eyes so we would see you're everything a hero ought to be. Diamond in the rough, a star in the sky. Whenever someone asked you, you always made it clear you weren't gonna let this get you down. You live every day without a frown. And even though you're not here, and even though you're gone, you will always be near. 'Cause your spirit lives on, and it's the way that you laugh, and the way that you smile. And even though you're only here for a while, lived every day of your life through the pain and the strife. You opened our eyes so we would see you're everything a hero ought to be. Something about this that gives us hope. There's a light in the tunnel, and we all know so many people miss you. This isn't goodbye. One day we'll be with you. We'll meet you in the sky. Meet you in the sky.